Hey team, I'm Maddie. Welcome to Science Side Up, and today we are talking about static stability. One of the necessary ingredients to make a cloud and then any weather involving clouds, so like all storms, is going to be a lifting mechanism. And we learned about one of those 2 videos ago when we did the mountain problem. So we saw how terrain could act as a lifting mechanism. It could force air to go up into the atmosphere. And the subject of today, and I think the next video, is going to be another form of lifting mechanism that's going to be the buoyancy of the air itself. And we're gonna look at how can we as like humans and scientists and meteorologists look at what's going on in the atmosphere and understand if we're going to have rising motion and consequently potentially interesting weather or not. Static stability, to read from my notes, is the stability of the atmosphere in hydrostatic equilibrium with respect to vertical displacement. So what in the world does that mean? Let's start with hydrostatic balance. We've already learned what that is. There's a video on it. Maybe I'll remember / figure out how to put an iCard around here or over there. I don't know. I don't know where I am in this void of the camera. Okay, but the basic idea is that the atmosphere is perfectly balanced between gravity and the pressure gradient force. It looks something like this. If this is an air parcel or my magic balloon, however you want to think about it, then the force of gravity pulling it down has to be equal and opposite to the pressure gradient force pulling it up. Remember that pressure gradient force is what we get because the pressure is changing with height, so that causes a force. So this parcel it's stable, it's not gonna move anywhere. Another way to say that is it's neutrally buoyant. And what that means is that if I were to kind of boop it, right? If I were to try to move it up a little bit and then let go, this box would settle back down to this exact spot. This is where it wants to be. So this is my hydrostatic equilibrium picture. And if this represented the real atmosphere, this atmosphere would be statically stable. And if it's statically stable, then we could draw a temperature profile with height and it would look something like this. If the real atmosphere is statically stable, then the real measured lapse rate of the atmosphere, that change in temperature with height, will either fall on or below the dry adiabatic lapse rate. So if my real profile is anywhere in this region, then the atmosphere is statically stable. And similarly, if we want to look at potential decreases with height, or I'm anywhere over here, I'm also going to be statically stable. What that means is that it's really difficult to get an air parcel to rise. On the flip side, if I have a real lapse rate that's steeper than the dry adiabatic lapse rate, or potential temperature increases with height, then the atmosphere is going to be statically unstable. In the next video, we're going to explore stability with a little bit more depth, but the basic idea is that if I am statically stable, it's very difficult to get an air parcel to rise. And if the environment is statically unstable, it's pretty easy to get an air parcel to rise. So you can think of this as, if I'm statically stable, it's going to be clear skies outside, and statically unstable is when we're going to get clouds. And potentially precipitation and storms and other interesting weather. Fundamentally, atmospheric stability is a tool that we can use to look at real atmospheric data and understand what's going on even start to do some basic predictions about what the weather is going to be like that day. More on that next time. Okay team, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you liked this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye team! Whew, this chalk is worn down to the nubbin.